Right. I decided I haven't actually spoken much about homeschooling. And in fact, I haven't said much about my teenagers who I love with all my heart. So I thought, let me just do something about homeschooling before I continue the special needs journey, because that one is endless anyway. I asked my daughter Eliora if there's anything she would like to share about homeschooling. She said there is, but I can't show her face. So here I am, and here we are. Eliora. All right, just share anything you want to share about homeschooling. Go ahead.
Okay, number one, I would say homeschooling is convenient because there's no having to. It's flexible too. We're able, I am able to, or yes, to help take care of my siblings without having to worry about having to get to the school at a set time and the ending at a set time too.
Okay, let me interject there. Did you hear that? She's able to help her siblings with her siblings without having to worry about going to school and being gone the whole day. And that is the thing. When we adopted our first baby, how old were you? 8. 8 and 9 years old.
Yes, I turned 9 that year.
Okay, so they were 10 and 9 years old. And they said that they want to organize their homeschool schedule to go around, to be set around our daughter, our infant, our 3.5-month-old baby's sleep schedule. So they wanted to do school when she's asleep, so that when she's awake, they then can play with her. And that just, wow, it's been 7 years later, and that is still the first thing she mentions. It's being able to be a big sister. That's meaningful. I didn't actually expect that. All right, anything else?
Secondly, the exam timing, if for example, if we're to finish, let's say geography, if we're to finish that early before the set school year finished, we would be able to take the closest exams without having to complete every other subject and push it all to a later date.
Okay, can I add something?
Yes.
Yes. So, for example, IGCSE, which is like O levels, it takes 2 years, so they say, right? So IGCSE is 2 years, and then AS levels in South Africa, you need either 3 A levels and 3 IGCSEs, or 4 AS levels, which is 1 year, and 2 IGCSEs to get your matric exemption, right? They wrote their IGCSE exams over 2 sessions. I was only going to make them write exams in the subjects they will use for their exemption. But then the dad worried that if they don't write exams in the other subjects that they will use for AS level exemption, they might struggle. So we then added on the extra subjects. Also, because I was sick and I'm the teacher and I kept having multiple operations in 2022 and 2021, we kind of slowed down. So we just did what we could do in October, November last year, right? And then they did the other subjects. Eliora, wrote 4 subjects. Now in June, July, May, June, in the May, June session, she wrote her IGCSE 4 subjects. And going back to the flexibility of the timing. Yes?
2 GCSE and 2 AS level.
In May, June. No, you wrote your October, November, you did your AS levels.
Oh, right.
Yes. See, it gets so confusing because it's the whole year. All right. So last year, we weren't actually comfortable with her physics. So we scrapped her writing her physics. And then she wrote it this year. Instead of writing it last year, October, November, she wrote her physics this year. And what did you get for your physics? Do you remember?
Maybe 78.
She got 78%. That little weight helps. It makes a big difference. Do you remember what you were getting generally last year at that time, exam time?
High 50s, low 60s.
High 50s, low 60s. And she wasn't happy with that because she wanted to be a nurse and she wants to have her science subjects, perfect. All right. So I was saying the timing, yes. So she said you can choose when to write your exams because she's a private candidate. That's the beauty of homeschooling. We are our own school. We set up our timetable. We can make it longer if someone has challenges or problems or is delayed or struggles, or we can just compress the time. So they finished their IGCSE exams in May, June. And then AS level generally is apparently a year long to do your AS level subjects. Some parents even said give it 18 months. And that's fine. Who cares how long it takes as long as you finish? If you need to finish, of course, and if you can finish. But they went straight into AS level subjects from exam time. And by October, they were ready to write 2 out of their 4 exams. We're waiting for results in when are they coming?
10 January.
January 10th. But I will post the IGCSE exam results, and I'm pretty sure they did well, because what we do is we write past papers and we keep practicing on past papers, and they were doing very well with their past papers. And so they were, imagine something that should have taken a year, they did 4 months. 4 months to study and revise. That is the beauty of homeschooling. Continue.
Was there anything else?
I don't know.
I think there was, but I think I've forgotten it now.
Sorry. So you said flexibility around your siblings, and exam time will be any time. Anything else?
Maybe not.
Are you enjoying homeschooling?
Yes.
When they were young, around the same time of the adoption, we'd walk past a school in Mariasburg, and this is the thing. Okay, let me ask her. Yes, you can say it.
As one more benefit.
One more benefit.
There's no competition to excel above your peers. Is that the right wording?
It
To be better than your peers is no competition.
You don't feel that
if you got less than someone else, that's a bad thing. So there's no pressure. There's no extra pressure to be better than the next person.
And also, in a way, then you don't feel shamed if you get less, or if you're 20th in the class.
Yes.
Because I don't know about now, but when I was in high school, the teachers used to put us in order of our marks, and then they would call us to the book and we'd see what position in the class we were. So whether you were 6th or whether you were 26th out of 30. How would you feel about that?
They're very bad.
Very bad, eh?
That'd be horrible, actually.
Yeah, it would be horrible. It's not nice. So basically, for us, what is it? You must do that to the best of
your abilities.
Best of your abilities. All right. And tutors? Have you made use of tutors?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. That's true. They've basically been self-teaching. As soon as they could read, I was just sitting the work they meant to do, and they were reading and writing. We never did any exams. We never did any exams until O-levels/IGCSE. Do you think that hindered you in any way? Was it a negative in any way?
No.
No. Where was I going? What was I saying? But yeah, they didn't do any exams. Oh, tutor. Yes, the tutor. She got a tutor in maths. That's the only C they both got. It was in maths. Maybe it's my genes. I blame my genes. I was not a maths person at all. Back in my day, we called standard grade maths. It was higher grade maths, standard grade maths, or no maths. Those were the options. My best friend did no maths, and my other best friend did standard grade maths. So, I didn't feel too bad. But yeah, I think I've given them both my maths brain. My husband tried to explain. How did that go? He really tried to explain maths to you.
It went downhill?
It went downhill because he's too clever. So he doesn't know how to meet people at their level. So we then thought, okay, they're failing maths. Let's get a tutor. How did that work for you? What does that mean?
That means that it started out fine, then I got impatient. Or, how should I explain it? Because what I had thought was that the tutoring would be for the parts of maths that I was struggling a lot with, but then the tutor wanted to go from the beginning of the book until probably the very end. So we're going through things which I'd already done, and because the textbooks that I was using and she was using were different, so some of the stuff she was trying to teach was extended, was the...
Okay, so they ended up doing the core level. So it's like basically standard grade maths. And yeah, So you can only get a C. That is the highest. So I don't know what it would have translated into, but a C is the highest you can get in core. But your certificate doesn't say physics core 60%. It just says physics 60%. Whereas my maths, everything was biology higher grade, physics standard grade, maths standard grade, and Afrikaans higher grade, etc. So that's the nice thing about it. You just got a C, pure and simple. Okay? Yeah, tutoring didn't work for her. I think she's so used to teaching herself that to then have to sit there and listen to someone teaching her something she'd already done and was, well, doing okay with, it didn't work. So we quit after 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
2.5-ish.
Yeah, there we go. So before 3 weeks, she was done with the tutor, but still, she got a C in maths. So
it's 63%.
63%. There we go. So I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm very proud of them, actually. I'm really proud of them. And I say this because, Ella, do you have any relatives that ask you what subjects you're doing, what grade you're in?
No.
No one, hey?
No, it's only the strangers.
It's only the strangers. And so I am very proud of them. I will be their family and their relatives. And I'm very proud of the fact that they've done so amazingly well and so fast. I mean, the subjects they did for the AS level, it was English and geography. That's a lot. That's a lot of content that they did within 4 months, studying, learning, and doing past papers and doing well in those past papers. And we are hoping it translated into well for the final exam. I don't want to come back tail between my legs and say, oh my word, guys, we have to repeat. So let's hold thumbs and pray that they did really well for those 2 exams. Yeah. And your career?
Nursing.
Nursing.
Yes.
And do you still want to be a midwife, or you?
Now it's which is not geriatric.
As long as, so she doesn't want to do anything with the aged. And I'm proud of that. And I will say that because I was told nursing is too low class for people of my status. I don't care what she does as long as she is doing what is good or what is not bad. And nursing is very not bad and is also good. I want my children to do anything, right? Do you feel like you are forced? Do I force you to choose a certain career, basically?
No, in fact, you just asked us what to do, and you told us to say choose something which we want to do, and tell us that. Then you'd go and check which universities had the choices that we wanted.
There we go. And I don't mind any university, though personally for safety reasons, we don't want them to go to Johannesburg. If they go to Johannesburg, they're not going with any car because we don't want them to be hijacked. That is the one thing we have put a block on. It's that if they go to Johannesburg, no vehicle of their own. We're scared. And the thing is, we know many people who have been attacked, even in their own homes. We know church people whose homes were burgled. It's real for us. So as loving parents, we will allow them to go to UJ or UP or WITS if they insist. But we'll try and keep them as safe as possible. Is that okay?
Yes, I won't go.
And then, in terms of parenting, what do you think of us as your parents?
What does that mean?
Okay. People used to ask if we're strict.
Yes, they did.
And how did you feel? Or did you even understand what they meant?
Actually, I didn't.
She didn't, and she would say no. But now that you know what it means, in that sense, where do you feel we stand?
Long suffering.
Long suffering, meaning?
I've got the patience. In fact, they're more patient than I would be. Thought that's not a good sign if I'm your mother. So,
So she just said we're more patient than she would be if she was a mother, and then she's like, but then that means I shouldn't be a mother, basically, if I'm not that patient. Yeah.
Yes, it's like that.
We're patient.
Yes.
And we're more long-suffering. But do we have rules?
Yes.
Yes.
Like you should.
And are our rules arbitrary, just made up? Do you ever feel like they're unfair?
No.
Or do they make sense?
They do.
Mhm.
Not to mention the fact that it's not like there are a whole lot of them.
Mhm.
There's simple rules too.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Eliora.
Yeah,
I
okay.
hope this was actually recording. Can you tell if it's recording?
It wasn't.
Please check, because I will cry.
Okay, yes, it was.
Thank you very much for not joining us. You can show your hand again if you want. Now I'm going to see if I can get her brother to agree. He's even less likely. What are the benefits for you of homeschooling?
The flexibility.
Flexibility, meaning?
That I don't have to be stuck with I don't have to be stuck with rigid time frames for doing things, and you can study more when you're homeschooling than when you'd be at school, where they make you do one lesson every time.
Okay, so you feel that you can study more when you make up your own timetable.
Yes.
All right. Any other positives?
You can get extra help.
You can get extra help if you struggle.
It's
Like?
Videos that you can get when you are studying right then and there, not having to wait until you are home.
Okay, so what he means there is when they've got any chapter they're struggling with or topic, I quickly, they note any issues they've got, and then I find as many videos as I can on that topic. They answer questions and we sort it out. So that's the nice thing about the basically one-on-one, what's it called? Lesson, or one-on-one teaching on focus. If they've got a problem, we work on that problem and make sure it's sorted. We're working on mastery. I wouldn't be able to do that if I had 30 children. Yes, Ella?
It also makes me think that with the video you can watch it again and again, and the person in the video will not get impatient or will not be rushed towards the teacher.
So the difference with the teacher and your videos is that you can rewatch, indeed. And and we do school on Sundays, right?
Yes.
And Fridays, what do we do generally?
School and cleaning too.
We do preparation for Sabbath and a bit of cleaning, so and a bit of school. So our timetable is very different. Anything else you want to add?
Think of anything really?
Louder? You can't think of anything?
Yes.
All right. Ella had also said she likes that driving school lessons were when you're doing your driving. What is the benefit?
I didn't think of it now. That's that you could be doing any time really.
Yes, your time was free.
Yes, you didn't have to be stuck with only doing so in the afternoons or on weekends or early morning.
Yeah. So for us, driving lessons became part of school. So it was a lesson we fitted in during the school day. That was the other positive, which they both feel. Though my girl hasn't yet begun her lessons, but as soon as she gets her very good passes, she will then do her learners. Right. Thank you, Bukosi, for not appearing, but for giving us your voice. And Eliora, thank you too. So now I shall get a picture of my son and I, so that they can at least picture who I'm talking to. Bukosi is? How old are you, my boy?
More than 10. Okay, I'm 18.
He's 18 years old. Thank you. There we go again. That was a glimpse of my children. What did I want to say? I just wanted to say thank you to the people who've become a family, where they are the ones who ask how the children are doing, the ones who even get it. I will mention one friend who I met through adoption, and she will say things like, okay, if you do Montessori, wow, that must be a lot of preparation. How are you finding the time? And what about your back having to sit and cut? That makes a lot of difference, to know that someone is actually really trying to imagine my day. People who ask questions to try and understand or get a picture of my day, that also makes a difference. There aren't many anymore, but it makes a difference. There were lots of naysayers, as my daughter mentioned, but we've got family that makes up for it. They are the people I share my struggles with. They are the people I complain to about the teenage behavior. so stereotypical. You know, the books in the textbook, so that I don't realize that the textbook isn't being read. I do. And we share the highs together. And again, the same friend who will picture herself as me, or picture me doing the Montessori work, she'll be saying, oh my word, look how well Ella did with her physics. And yet she was so scared last time. What a big, big achievement. You know, that means a lot. So our homeschooling journey has really been smooth. They started reading at age 3 and 4. My daughter was 3, my son is a year older than her, 1 year, 1 month, 1 week older than her. And he slowed down at some point. He does have two diagnoses that he doesn't want to share yet at this time, which explain the slowing down. But wow, he's done really well. He's broken the stereotypes, and I wish I could share with you so that you can see that a child is more than the label they have. But yeah, so here we are. I've got family in terms of friends, family who support, who care, who encourage, and none of them are homeschooling. Many of them actually sending their children to normal, regular school. But they don't look down on me. They definitely don't refer to me as being lazy for this choice that I've made. They affirm me. And I appreciate it because, you know, being a housewife, there are things that no one sees, no one acknowledges, no one will say, wow, thank you for picking up my socks. Or no one will say, oh, you got rid of my plate that I'd left on the chair, thank you. Or thank you for cleaning the toilet. You know, no one sees that. So for them to see at least the homeschooling thing, it means a lot. And yes, actually, in fact, even the work stuff is seen. And I think for me, it's more, I want it to be appreciated because it takes so much out of my body. And I know that each movement I do comes back with extra pain later. So to have suffering acknowledged, it would be nice if people would say, sure, you taught even though it would have been better for you to have been in bed. You know, that God is saying it. I guess God is doing that, but it's a bit silent. You know, I can't hear him. So when I will post and share a good morning is like last week sometime when I got up. I wasn't stiff, I wasn't fatigued, I didn't even feel any pain. So I got up, I cleaned 2 big mirrors, the bathroom and closet. I cleaned the toilet, bathroom. I cleaned the counter. I went to sort out our laundry. Do you know how much laundry 8 people make? Especially when it's little children who pour paint on themselves, sand. I did that before 6 a.m., all of that. And I'd read my Bible. I was proud of myself. Or rather, I was happy that my body had allowed me to do all that so early. And a friend of mine then commented and said, and I know that if you were healthy, you would have done even more, you would do more than what you do, and it's already a lot. And I know it's a lot because there are other healthy women and younger than me who've told me that I am way too strict. I'm too much of a perfectionist, rather. I clean things that they don't clean. So I'm not lazy. God knows I'm not lazy. God sees me. He sees the things I do that I should not be doing. Like today, for example. And this week, I've been marking schoolwork, writing school things. I shouldn't be. My hand should be elevated. I did say in my other video, I don't know why. But when I Googled it today, so the first thing that came up, I looked up paronychia, hand elevated, because I really struggled to bring down the laundry with it, my hand up like this. So I'd come in to check if I really need to keep it up. And it was like, your finger can be cut off or you'll become disabled if you don't keep your hand elevated. Basically, that's what they were saying. So it's elevated, I'm soaking it. I took all my antibiotics, I didn't stop them. Things will improve. They are improving. At least this isn't hurting. Yes, I'm on multiple painkillers, but it was hurting even when I was on those painkillers doing that. So I know I'm getting better. I'm praying that the swelling is gone and the discoloration by at least Sabbath. So I can say I did inject this week, but that's not the point. Our point is, how's homeschooling going? It's going well for the teens, they love it. It's going well for me too. And what I like also is that they've met teenagers and other children who have told them they wish their mothers were also teaching them. So it's not the other way around where they're told, oh, you guys are really missing out. School is so nice. Peer pressure, bullying. They're not hearing that. They're hearing, I wish my mom would also teach me. And those children have no clue how much I appreciate that. For me, I would hear comments from parents saying, I could never handle being with my children 24/7. I can't even handle them over the weekend. I hate school holidays are the worst. My first two children were so easy. But when, as I said, they were reading at age 3 and 4, age 5 and 6. They were watching sermons. They loved sermons. I could dump them, and they would go hide in the wardrobe, lying on their stomachs, watching sermons while I'm cooking or cleaning. They were easy. The homeschooling journey was easy. They read, I ask questions, I mark, all good. If there's a problem, download lots of videos, rewatch, take notes. It's easy. Homeschooling my first two children has been easy. And the other concern was, but they've never written exams. Yes, they had never written exams. I set my own exams in the lower standards, but I could tell where they were struggling. And I would always make sure they mastered. We didn't move on unless they were getting 70% and higher. At first it was 80% and higher, and then now when they got to the higher standards in high school, if they got 70%, lower than 70%, then we didn't proceed. I wanted mastery, and it has helped because they understand generally what they're doing, and the videos help. They don't need a tutor for anything. We've never used a tutor for longer than 2.5 weeks for that one subject. And biology, we will do practicals at a school, only because I don't have equipment, and so that's it. Otherwise it's been home school, literally, except for outings that we take, and we've been having fun. We really have. I will miss them. I will really miss them, and I will miss this part of the journey because it was easy. And I appreciated it back then. I didn't know what difficult would be like, but I knew I was having fun. It was a breeze. And I'm glad that they were the children I had first. Otherwise I would have been traumatized. Anyway, thank you for listening. And I hope my head is not cut off like it was with the previous attempt. Thank you guys for caring. Thank you for subscribing. I saw a new one. Chifaro, is that you? Hi. Thank you for caring about what I've got to say, and to everyone who has been a shoulder to cry on, who I've shared my children's marks with, and you've responded so positively. Our lives are so different, but love doesn't care about circumstances, it just loves. And thank you for your love.